It's a Shelby GT500 pacing the field, the new 2010 model. And it peels off, and we're ready to go.
DW, Las Vegas. How about let's roll snake eyes? Reach up there and pull those belts tight. One more time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Boogity, 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 boys. Let's go racing.
Jimmy Johnson leads the first lap from Kurt Busch as Brad Keselowski in the 5th Hendrick car. The 25 got into the wall off turn 4.
I believe he's got a tire down.
Yeah, well, he damaged the car in turn 4, and the same thing happened to him yesterday. He's got tires down now.
Spun it.
He damaged the car down here in turn 4, and then he hit it again in turn 1.
Get it going when you can.
So caution at lap 2 for rookie Brad Keselowski. And let's watch the 25 car off turn 4. Right side of your screen, the green car.
Yep, just got loose on him and snapped around, popped the rear end up against the outside retaining wall. The car's damaged now, and you can see it just, he's out of control.
Digger long to get down in that hole.
Digger's got a real knack for finding the right place to be,
Right
or the wrong place to be. I'm not sure which.
Now, Rick Hendrick has 4 full-time teams. The NASCAR cap on team ownership allows them to field a 5th team for a limited number of races for a rookie driver. So that's why
No rubs.
500 cars in this race.
Yeah, and you know what, Larry? It's no big surprise to me that 48 car jumped out front like that. He was fast in practice yesterday. I think our buddy Kurt Busch is a little disappointed. He wanted to lead that first
Yes,
ride.
he did here at home.
Matt Kenseth trying to win 3 in a row, be the first driver to win the season's first 3 races. But Dick Berggren, what's up with the 17?
Now the engine is not cooperating with Matt Kenseth. It's shut off on the backstretch, and he said it is sounding kind of funny now. So they're going to bring it in. He has recommended that they check the plug wires.
Kenseth is 39th.
Well, what a lucky break.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's something they can quickly repair, if it is a plug wire, that's huge.
Now, how about Denny Hamlin? He's going to get at least right side tires, and they're going under the hood on Kenseth's car.
Marcos Ambrose, the 47 car is in.
No driver has won the Daytona 500 and the next 2 races in NASCAR history. Daytona wasn't always the first race. No driver's ever won the first 3 races of a season.
I believe it had a plug wire off, Larry. I saw everybody dive in there, all hands, and looks like it may have had a plug wire off.
I just can only remember what he told Krista in the pre-race. He just didn't have a good feeling about winning 3 in a row.
Dick?
Well, the engine still doesn't sound right, and he did say just before he left that he thought it was going to blow up.
Thanks, Dick. Now let's show you what happened to Denny Hamlin, because he's damaged the right front corner of his car. Here's his onboard camera. That's Joe Nemechek just in front of him.
He's up against the wall. He's
Joe's slowing down and for the 25 of Keselowski.
Good job.
Interesting thing yesterday, Denny Hamlin got run into from behind. Today he run into someone from behind.
What do we talk about at the top of the show about you make a lot of your own luck here in Vegas? Matt Kenseth, too fast exiting pit road, tail to the longest line.
I think that was one of Jeff Hammond's keys, was don't get caught speeding on pit road. At 45 miles per hour is actually kind of slow for this mile-and-a-half racetrack.
I forget. I think there was something like 32 penalties on pit road yesterday. This is a tough pit road.
Aflac trivia. What's the worst qualifying position of a driver to win a race in what is now NASCAR's Sprint Cup Series? Here's a hint. Only 2 races in history have been won by a driver that qualified worse than 39th. Here's Kristen.
Mike, want to update you on the 11. Denny Hamlin, as you saw there on the replay from his inboard camera on his FedEx Toyota, had a little bit of right front damage, just a little bit. He came in, they wanted to just put some tape on it, get it fixed up, go ahead and take advantage and put on the tires. Denny came on the radio and said, how bad is it? Mike Ford, his crew chief, said, you're good to go.
That was just a little kiss, and this nose is so tough that you can get away with running into something and not do a lot of damage.
Looks like we're ready for our Clareton Clear to Drive restart. Live Clareton Clear indoors and out. Kyle Busch picked up 5 positions on the racetrack, and with some drivers pitting, he is now 32nd.
And with this restart here on lap 5, this is not a big deal on the penalty on Matt Kenseth of 17, tailing the longest line. He was basically back there anyhow because of coming to pit road.
Yeah, I think he's got bigger issues than that. I don't think speeding down pit road is his only problem. They restart here, you see him fall straight to the back.
He is not coming up to speed.
Not at all.
Dick Berggren.
Well, Kenseth has just told his crew that he will be on pit road within 2 laps. They're trying to decide whether they should try to find out which cylinder is down and then disconnect the spark plug on that cylinder and back off a rocker so that he can run the race on 7. But Matt Kenseth will not win 3 in a row.
I wouldn't count him out, Doc. Let me tell you why. I wouldn't come to pit road until I got lapped or was ready to get lapped to buy myself as much time as I could. And the way these guys are racing, we're going to have another caution right away.
Well, just
no, never mind. He just blew up.
Now we're starting to see
Yeah, he
smoke out the exhaust
just blew
pipe.
up.
I think he may be the caution.
He is now. Well, he's down on the apron. They have not thrown the yellow flag.
Got a car around on the back, too. Couple of cars.
All right, back up, guys. Pretty damn.
Yellow flag.
Things are happening. I knew there'd be another caution. Let me tell you why. This racetrack is hot. It's slick. I think that's causing some problems.
Todd Bodine was the car that spun off turn 2, and just prior to that, Kyle Busch made a 3-wide pass, and he was all the way down on the track apron to do it, coming past start finish. He is now up to 31st. And let's watch from Denny Hamlin and see what happened to the 64 of Todd Bodine.
This could be very well be somebody hollered cautions out, or there's going to be a caution. Nah, I don't think he even touched him.
I think he just got loose
Also
on his
got a
own.
blown engine going.
Didn't even touch him. The car just turned around. We saw that so many times yesterday. Spin out all by yourself.
Oh boy, Elliott Sadler got a piece of something there.
And damage.
As caution is out for the 2nd time today in Las Vegas. This race has had a bizarre beginning for several teams. Here comes Martin Truex with the axle shaft sticking out of the hub.
Now, folks, don't panic. He just lost his hubcap. That's all.
Yeah, there's a little aluminum hubcap that goes right in the center, right there where you see the axle at right there, and it's held in normally by 3 bolts. And I've got to believe that those bolts were not tight to come out this early.
The car that Elliott Sadler hit trying to get past Todd Bodine was the 47 of Marcus Ambrose. A lot of damage to the back of Ambrose's car. As we get ready to go back to green, let's try this for the 3rd time today.
Well, you know, I watched that race yesterday and I said, it's just got to be because it's a nationwide race. I don't know what the excuse today is. Maybe it's because we're in Vegas.
Now, we do need to mention we had some more cars that pitted that time. One in particular, the 18 car, Kyle Busch, came to pit road fuel only by that crew there. Denny Hamlin was on pit road, A.J. Allmendinger, Robbie Gordon, and you saw Martin Truex Jr., who's still sitting on pit road.
I just wouldn't have come in right now, Larry. I would have stayed out. He was gaining track position. I wouldn't have put myself back in harm's way like he is right now.
I was a little surprised coming that early.
Yeah, if it's going to take fuel, I wouldn't have done that.
Matt Kenseth will not get his 3-peat. He's in the garage with Dick Berggren.
Mechanic under the hood of your car, Matt. How is it possible after all of the practice and qualifying on this same engine that we could just start the race and it would blow?
It's a great question. I have no idea. So, yeah, you'd think you'd almost would have seen something last night. But it's really disappointing. But yet, on the other hand, the guys at Road Chase Engines do an awesome job. I think it's the first failure we've had in over 2 years. So, it's just unfortunate we didn't even get to race. We don't even really know what we had. But I don't think it's going to be the first one you're going to see today. There's a lot of sustained, real high RPM here. And I've been actually worried about it all weekend. We talked about gears and different things. But everybody thought it was going to be all right. So, it's just disappointing. But don't really know what else to say. I'll try again next week, I guess.
We'll see you in Atlanta. Thank you.
Matt Kenseth came in as the Sprint Cup point leader, of course, with 2 victories in 2 races.
And we documented yesterday, we were watching practice, and when you talk about hanging RPM, what he's talking about is the engine never really gets a chance to breathe much. It's operating above 8,000 RPM with a high of about 9,500. That's a really small range, and the engine never really gets a break. It's always at high RPM.
Darrell, I was just looking. They only ran about 40 laps total yesterday between the two practices, which is not a lot of laps at a 1.5-mile racetrack.
Now you talked about should Kyle Busch have pitted. Well, he's had no trouble getting back to where he was running where the caution came out. He's already up to 31st after that stop.
Oh, I'm sure they'll make it work. I just wouldn't want to put myself back there amongst guys that seem to be running over each other early in the race.
And I think what Steve Addington was thinking, we seemed like we already had an outbreak of cautions. What he would have loved to have seen right there is about 5 or 6 laps, another caution, knowing that a lot of the guys up front might come to pit road for fuel. They'd stay out and keep the track position.
Let's go back to the second caution flag and watch as Todd Bodine spins 2 cars trying to get through the smoke. Top of your screen. The first will be Marcus Ambrose.
That's Marcus coming just to the left of the screen there. And then watch Elliott Sadler run over his left rear tire. I mean, that's, I don't know how it didn't kill the 19 car.
And you know, Darrell, in the spotter's defense, those drivers were probably about on their own with that much smoke back there on the back straightaway. I don't know that a spotter could even tell them what to do, where to go.
Kurt Busch started this race from the outside pole and runs in the second position. Steve?
Well, Mike, as DW talked to him before the race, he grew up 20 miles from here. He said winning here would be like Tony Stewart winning at the Brickyard. He just told Pat Tryson he's tight with the front, but loose with the rear. Krista?
Well, for folks watching at home who now know there won't be a Triple Crown winner, Matt Kenseth out. But wait a second, that means the field is now wide open. The card shark has left the blackjack table, and that's good news for Kevin Harvick. RCR, Richard Childress Racing, has never won a Cup race here at Vegas. Their best finish, Harvick's 4th last year. Right now, Kevin Harvick is just a little bit tight in the center.
Brian Newman running in 4th place. A lot of folks looked at that paint scheme last week in California and thought of Dale Earnhardt. The black, the silver, the red trim, little similarity to the Childress #3 paint scheme, but it is not an intentional tribute car or anything like that.
What I'm liking today, though, is here's Strimmy in the 12 car for Penske. What I'm liking about Ryan Newman today is he's starting this race without any problems.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's all he wants to do is see the checker flag without an issue. When you look at all the cars they went through at Daytona and then had the problem last week, even when the race started with the end plate on the wing.
At 42 is Juan Pablo Montoya having a top 10 run as he tries to hold off Carl Edwards. Matt?
Mike, one of the biggest movers, started in 23rd, now up to 8th. He says the car is great. He wouldn't really change much as far as handling if they were to pit now. Brian Patty responded, whatever you ate for breakfast, keep eating it for the rest of the year. But his mirror is filling up with Carl Edwards, who says his car, excellent.
See, I think Brian Patty really turned that 42 team around last year. Latter part of the year when he stepped in as crew chief. And the reason I think that is because he and Montoya speak the same language. They talk a lot alike, and I think it's really a good combination.
Here's Matt Kenseth's teammates. Guy that won this race a year ago, Carl Edwards in the 99, started 14th. He's cracked the top 10. In fact, he's in 9th right now.
And the other thing I like about Brian Patty, normally he doesn't show up to finish. He shows up to win.
You know, Penske is well represented in the top 10 right now. Sam Hornish Jr., of course, he's fallen into the clutches of Bobby Labonte in the 96, but Sam Hornish in that 77, he actually looked pretty good in practice yesterday, had a good qualifying, and he's just outside the top 10 right now.
Greg Biffle, another of the Roush Fenway drivers who had a great run yesterday, winning the Samstown 300 in the Nationwide Series, breaking a long victory drought in that series. So there's Biffle stalking Sam Hornish, and that will change 11th place. Up front, he qualified 3rd, moved up to the pole position, and he has led every one of the 22 laps so far. Jimmy Johnson.
And it's staying that way.